Chapter 1 The Returning Youth. Year 128 of the Konoha calendar, on an unnamed island 100 miles from the land of water. Deep within a cave, flickering candlelight cast dim, wavering shadows. On a stone bed lay an old man with graying white hair and a face etched with wrinkles. His life was nearing its end. If not for the emerald green eyes and the 3 whisker-like marks on his cheeks, no one would have believed that he was once Naruto Uzumaki, the 7th Hokage. His life had been a journey of rising from oppression to glory, only to end in desolation. At the age of 12, he graduated from the Ninja Academy as a genin of Konoha. At 16, he defeated Pain and became the hero of Konoha. That same year, he fought in the 4th Great Ninja War, where he and Sasuke Uchiha joined forces to seal Kagaya, bringing peace to the ninja world. However, the calamities of the ninja world did not end with Kagaya's sealing. After that, Kinshiki, Momoshiki, Urashiki, Ishiki, one after another, they ignited new conflicts. In the battle against Ishiki Otsutsuki, Naruto lost Kurama, and Sasuke lost his Rinnegan. With no other choice, they entrusted the future of the ninja world to the next generation, led by Boruto. Boruto did not disappoint. Through countless trials, he grew and surpassed his father at his peak, mastering the power of the Jogan and Momoshiki's Otsutsuki abilities. He resolved numerous crises and ushered in a new era of prosperity for the ninja world. But that prosperity was reduced to ashes with the arrival of Shinjiki Otsutsuki. Shinjiki possessed overwhelming power, far surpassing even Kagaya's. In the decisive battle, the entire ninja world united to resist him, but the outcome was devastating. Friends, his wife, children, comrades, all perished in battle. Their dying cries echoed in Naruto's mind during countless sleepless nights, tormenting his soul. Naruto, our strength, it's useless. Naruto-kun, please live on. Forgive me for not being able to stay by your side. Father, I've done my best. 7th Hokage-sama, please retreat quickly. You are our last hope. In the end, an exhausted Naruto was sent away by the hidden cloud using a secret technique. When he awoke, the enemy had left, leaving behind a scorched and barren land. Naruto knelt and wept until his tears ran dry. He began a life of exile. He wanted to do something, but in his twilight years, he was powerless. And so he lived on, aimlessly, until now, when his life was about to end. Beside the candle stood an ancient-looking turtle artifact. It was a time-traveling tool of the Otsutsuki clan called Rei, brought by Urashiki and later passed into Naruto's hands. But Rei was broken. It could no longer traverse time or even speak. In his lonely old age, Rei had become Naruto's only confidant. Hey, you know what, turtle? My greatest mistake in life was underestimating the power of that clan. Through his battles with the Otsutsuki, Naruto had uncovered a harsh truth. Far beyond the ninja world, in the distant reaches of space, there was a planet called Takamagara, the birthplace of the Otsutsuki clan. On Takamagara, beings far stronger than Kagaya were as common as stars in the sky. Back then, we worked together to seal Kagaya and later defeated Momoshiki. I naively thought that was the extent of their power. I was so foolish to believe that unity alone could overcome those extraterrestrial beings. From the very beginning, we humans were at a disadvantage. The truth is, the Sage of 6 Paths path was not entirely correct. Everything Kagaya feared has come true. In the end, we were too short-sighted, cough cough cough. Naruto coughed heavily, his vision growing blurrier. The candlelight flickered, on the verge of extinguishing. Time was running out. At that moment, Rei, dormant for years, suddenly spoke. If you could do it all over again, would you seek revenge against them? Naruto thought it was a hallucination brought on by his impending death and paid it no mind. His gaze was calm, his voice weary. Revenge only breeds a chain of hatred. I wouldn't walk that path. But if I could truly start over, I would do whatever it takes to gain the power to rival those beings. Only then could I truly protect the people most important to me. Rei fell silent for a moment. Whatever it takes. That doesn't sound like something you would say. Naruto's eyes slowly closed, a faint, sorrowful smile on his lips. The naive, idealistic Naruto Uzumaki died the day my home and family were destroyed. Ray was quiet for a long time before saying, "Perhaps I can grant your wish." Naruto murmured, "You can send me back in time?" Ray replied, "I can transfer your soul, but it's a one-way trip. You'll never be able to return. Even so, are you willing?" Naruto smiled. "Why would I want to return to a world where no one is left?" Ray said, "Then extend your hand." With the last of his strength, Naruto reached out with a trembling hand. Whoosh, the final remnants of his chakra were absorbed by Ray. Buzz. The artifact activated. Naruto's soul left his body, flowing back through the river of time. Whoosh. The candlelight extinguished. The Naruto of this timeline closed his eyes forever. Asterisk crack. Crack, asterisk. Cracks spread across Ray's surface, signaling its imminent destruction. I have witnessed countless Naruto Uzumakis across time. If anyone can stop the atrocities of that clan, it is you. Rise again, in a timeline neither too early nor too late. Naruto felt his consciousness sinking within a tunnel. When he opened his eyes again, he was in a gray, sealed space. In his hands was a book ** Tales of a Gutsy Ninja * by Jiraiya. In front of him, within a mechanical walker, sat a frail Nagato, with Konan standing by his side. What was going on? Was this a dream? Naruto pinched his leg hard. The pain jolted him awake. This was no dream. Nagato spoke in a sorrowful tone, "Change the protagonist, and it becomes a different story. I am your senior, a fellow disciple of the same master. I once said we should be able to understand each other. Although that was originally just a joke. You truly are an extraordinary person. You remind me of my former self." Nagato. Konan's tone shifted as she sensed something unusual. I couldn't trust Jiraiya. No, I couldn't even trust myself. But I have a feeling that the paths we walk will lead to different futures. I will try to believe in you, Naruto Uzumaki. With those words, Nagato withdrew his hands from the viscous bindings and formed a shocking hand seal. Outer path, samsara of heavenly life technique, **. Konan gasped, Nagato, you. Nagato declared resolutely, Konan, that's enough. I've made a new choice. A choice I once abandoned. Naruto suddenly snapped back to reality. This is. Konan, thinking Naruto was questioning the jutsu, explained, those who possess the Rinnegan can not only control the 6 paths of pain but are also said to transcend the cycle of life and death. Nagato's ocular power allows him to wield the technique of life and death, the 7th path of pain. I know. Naruto clenched his fists. He realized that the voice he heard before his death was not an illusion but Rei's words. I'm back. I've truly returned. My soul has traveled back to the moment after defeating pain, during my negotiation with Nagato. His heart raced with excitement, his trembling hands unable to find a place to rest. The cover of the book in his hands was soaked with sweat. The Naruto standing here was still Naruto, but his soul was the Naruto from the future. Konan, of course, had no way of knowing this. She watched Nagato with concern, using this jutsu with his current chakra would soon know. Chapter 2, Laying It Bare. Naruto's outrageous words made Konan doubt her ears. Say that again, what do you want to inherit? But Naruto repeated himself firmly, I want to inherit Nagato's Rinnegan. I didn't mishear him after all. Konan's gaze darkened as she re-evaluated Naruto. The impression he had left on her was not that of someone who would say such things. Even so, she maintained her composure. Naruto, Nagato entrusted his will to you, but his will does not equate to his eyes. Naruto explained persuasively, Nagato is gone, but the power of the Rinnegan should not be buried with him. Moreover, there are others who covet these eyes. if they fall into the wrong hands, it will bring catastrophic consequences to the ninja world. All things considered, entrusting them to me is the safest option. The person he's referring to is Madara. He knows about Madara. He's not the simple-minded child Nagato and I once knew. Conan's expression turned 3 shades colder. The Rinnegan was awakened by Nagato of Amigakure. His eyes are a treasure of this nation, of this village. Naruto, even if it's your request, I cannot agree. Please don't ask for something so unreasonable. Nagato has already revived the shinobi of Konoha. I will leave Akatsuki today and will not act against Konoha anymore. Now, I'm taking Nagato and the Deva Paths remains back to Amigakure. I see. Naruto slowly closed his eyes. From the beginning of their conversation, he had been absorbing natural energy. By now, he had gathered enough. ZZZ. Orange pigmentation and toad-like horizontal pupils appeared on his face. Sage mode, activated. Naruto opened his eyes and said in a deep voice, Sister Conan, you misunderstand. This isn't a request, it's a demand. Swish. In Sage mode, Naruto moved with blinding speed, appearing in front of Conan in an instant. With precise control of his strength, he delivered a single punch to her abdomen. Thud. Ugh. Conan's orange eyes widened in shock as her body collapsed, powerless. Naruto withdrew his fist and looked down at the fallen Conan, murmuring, I'm sorry, Sister Conan. To avoid unnecessary conflict, this was the quickest way. I'll explain everything to you later. He then turned his gaze toward the direction of Konoha, his eyes filled with an uncontrollable longing. Everything he once lost was just a step away, waiting for him to reclaim it. However, what he planned to do from now on would go against the will of fire that Konoha upheld. Even if he were to explain everything to everyone, would they believe him? That would be far too absurd. Even Naruto himself wouldn't believe it if the roles were reversed. He retracted his gaze and forcibly suppressed the yearning in his heart. I'm sorry, everyone. I love this village, and I love all of you. That's why, until the time is right, let me bear this burden alone. That day, the villagers of Konoha, waiting at the gates, did not welcome their hero home. The search parties sent out by Konoha found only a copy of Tales of a Gutsy Ninja with finger-shaped indentations on its cover, and a Konoha forehead protector engraved with the mark of a rogue ninja, left behind at the location where Nagato had been hiding. At this moment, in Konoha, the 5th Hokage Tsunade had fallen into a deep coma due to overusing her strength of 100 seal chakra. A group of elite jonin, led by Shikaku Nara, convened an emergency meeting. Shikaku began, previously, we encountered Naruto on the mountain. He said he would settle things with the enemy and asked us to entrust the negotiations to him. As he spoke, Shikaku glanced at Kakashi, who had been revived and was now staring blankly at the Tales of a Gutsy Ninja brought back by the search team. Retracting his gaze, Shikaku continued, afterward, the people who had died in the village were resurrected. This indicates that Naruto's negotiations were undoubtedly successful. However, he suddenly killed Lady Katsuyu's clone and left behind this book and forehead protector. What happened during that time remains a mystery to us. Shikaku paused briefly before continuing, based on my analysis, there are 2 possibilities. First, Naruto was manipulated by some technique of the enemy and acted against his will. Second, Naruto had something else he wanted to discuss with the enemy, and it was something he didn't want us to know about. He hesitated before concluding, as for the items Naruto left behind, if I set aside my personal feelings, the most straightforward interpretation is that Naruto has abandoned the path of the ninja he inherited from Jiraiya and has resolved to become a rogue ninja of Konoha. Hiss. The jonin present collectively gasped. That Naruto, the Naruto who was unyielding and steadfast in his ninja way, had betrayed the village. At this moment, Kakashi spoke up. Naruto is my student. Based on my many years of understanding him, he would never betray the village. I am more inclined to believe that Naruto acted with his own reasons and burdens. He held up the book's cover for everyone to see. The fingerprints here tell us everything. He must have been clutching this book tightly at the time. His heart was in turmoil. Shikako sighed lightly and said solemnly, "Until we uncover the truth, we cannot jump to conclusions." What is undeniable is that Naruto defeated Pain and Nagato and saved the village. That is an indisputable fact. I propose that we temporarily conceal Naruto's departure from the public and announce that he is resting due to exhaustion from battle. The Hyuga clan agrees. The Yamanaka clan agrees. The Aburame clan has no objections. One by one, the clan leaders voiced their approval. Shikaku nodded. However, concealment is not a long-term solution. The ANBU must expand their search efforts and locate Naruto as soon as possible. In addition, the village has just experienced a massive calamity. The most important thing now is to stabilize morale. With the 5th Hokage in a coma and Naruto's situation uncertain, the village cannot be without a Hokage. I nominate Hatake Kakashi to become the 6th Hokage. Kakashi placed the book on the table and said seriously, "I'm ready for this responsibility." Rustle, rustle, rustle. In the forest beyond the ruins of Konoha, Black Zetsu and White Zetsu emerged from a tree trunk. White Zetsu said, "I never imagined Pain could be defeated. And that brat Naruto Uzumaki even took Nagato's body. This is insane." Black Zetsu replied, "Go and report this to Tobi immediately." Within the borders of the Land of Fire, in a dark cave, Naruto sat on a stone chair, his left eye wrapped in bandages. Resting his chin on one hand, he gazed at the flickering candlelight, lost in thought. "You're awake." He glanced out of the corner of his eye at Konan, who was tied up in the corner. Konan struggled against the ropes but couldn't break free. Naruto said, "For the sake of a proper conversation, I've tied you up. Additionally, to prevent you from turning into paper and escaping, I've sealed your chakra." His deep tone was completely unlike that of a 16-year-old boy. The stark contrast in his demeanor left Konan with only one conclusion. "Naruto Uzumaki, your acting skills are truly remarkable. Both Nagato and I were deceived by you." Naruto responded with a faint, ambiguous smile. Konan demanded, "What did you do with Nagato's body?" "You've already taken his Rinnegan. Your goal has been achieved. If you don't intend to kill me, return his body to me so I can take it back to Amagakure." "The Rinnegan, huh?" Naruto slowly turned around. "It seems I need to adjust the order of my explanation. First of all, the Rinnegan wasn't awakened by Nagato of Amagakure. The true owner of these eyes is the ancestor of Konoha's Uchiha clan, Uchiha Madara.